Hello there, my name's Ethan Lumsden, and I'd like to pitch to you today the part of management that I'd like to go for, and that would be the front of house management. Now, I would love to go for this part because I think I'm pretty much right for the part. I think this is the one that I'd be best at, because I like to think that I'm an outgoing person, and that I'm very friendly. And I always like to present myself as nicely as I can and dress as best as I can, but not just that. I also like to always have a smile on my face because that's always, I feel, very warm and welcoming to people. I also always like to have open gestures to show that I am more than happy to welcome somebody new into my life, or just to welcome somebody new into a venue that I'm hosting, or even just being front of house for. Because that's a very friendly thing to do, and that's what the guests really want, is just to have a great time and be, so they can chill and have a really nice evening. And I also am very polite. I've been brought up with manners my entire life, so it's sort of second nature to me to just be polite and kind to everyone and respect people, so that way I don't think I would offend anyone. I wouldn't cross any boundaries that I thought they would have, and I wouldn't disagree with any beliefs that they had, because everyone's beliefs are their own. And everyone's different, but we can at least respect everyone else's beliefs. Now, as I said, I like to think I'm easygoing, but I also like to think I'm very outgoing, and that I can settle any sort of argument, not easily, but I can sort of take the time to do it right and to make sure there's a happy outcome at the very end. And I like to think I'm very good at my conversational skills, because I can keep a conversation going for a good amount of time, just so the person doesn't get bored with it being too short or being too long. I find a happy medium, just to make sure that they're satisfied and that I'm satisfied with the way that I presented myself. I'm always more than eager to meet new people, and I think everyone should be. But it's okay that not everyone is. Most people are, happy, outgoing. Some people are just, reserved and sometimes a little bit quiet, but there's nothing wrong with that. And I think just a bit of conversation can easily break down those barriers. And I think I'm always easy to have a laugh with, because I'm always very bright and uplifting, I think. That's what I like to think of myself. I hope everyone else thinks that of me. And I also like to keep the conversations upbeat, because nobody wants, a downer before they go in and watch this pantomime. They want, a good uplifting spirit to them. Now, as going for experience, I have had a fair bit of experience in this field. In my old academy and out with my old academy, round about roughly the same time. So whilst I was in academy, the school would host these orchestral evenings where the school orchestra would perform to mums and dads and elderly people and anyone that just wanted to come and listen to some orchestral music. And it was always a very lovely evening, and I was front of house for S4, 5 and 6 for that, and there was 2 nights every year, making that 6 nights in total. And I would always be at the front of the house and welcoming the guests. I would hand out the leaflets, I'd show them to the seats, make sure everything was okay for them, and I would just tell them a little bit about the night, just to know what they're in for, and hopefully made a positive impact for them on that night. I've also been involved in the S4 evening of entertainment, and just to describe the evening of entertainment, that was when the school would also host another night of entertainment, but it wasn't the school members this time. It was people who had previously left the school, and people who were local sort of bands and things like that, and local dancers. Sometimes the school dance team would perform their dances, but that was only once in a while. And it was a very fun night, and I was front of house again. And so I welcomed people at the front carpet, and I took them through, sat them down, made sure their meals were all ready for them. The waiters were there, and I just asked them about how their night was going, friendly conversation here and there. And I also got the pleasure of, after leaving school after 6th year, I got to perform myself. And even whilst I was performing, when there were musical breaks, I would, encourage the crowd to, sing along if they wanted to, dance along if they wanted to, do whatever they want to, as long as it's within reason. And yeah, just try and give people a good night is all. Now, out with school, I was a front man with my best mate Toby, and we were sort of a duo sort of thing. We always have been. And yeah, same sort of thing, welcoming in people, taking their tickets, telling them a bit about the night, and also through the night we would introduce the entertainers, and mostly it was bands and singers, and we just say a little bit about them, a little bit of backstory, and cheer them afterwards, and always ask the crowd if they're having a great time. And even whilst I was singing there again, in between musical breaks, I would always ask the crowd if they're having a great night, how it's going, and at the end of the night we just thanked them, and it was good fun. I've also been a front man for my own fundraiser, which was for Spinal Injuries Scotland. That's the one. And yeah, I was like a sort of DJ, so this was a different sort of thing for me. I was no longer away to perform, I was playing the music, so it was kind of different change for me, but it was good fun. And I would take in, criticism if the music was too loud, if it was too quiet, so I'd always try and find, the happy medium for the guests. And again, I made sure everyone was okay. I'd ask them, not frequently, but a good amount of times, staggered amounts, if they were having a good time. And yeah. Oh, I've also helped in RAF recruiting when I was in the Air Cadets back in 2013, and I've also done a couple of advertising gigs for our local pantomime, where we would go around to the school, or we would go to the hall where we would usually host the pantomime, and we just go perform a little bit of it, one scene, me and my friend and the villain, because we were always the henchmen. And so we would always try and show the best of what we could do and see if anyone was interested for it. And yeah, overall I think that I would be one of the best candidates for this position, and I really hope you consider it. Thank you very much for your time.